What's the one thing you've always wanted to start, but you haven't because you're terrified of being terrible at it? Have you always loved art, but you just never got into it? Maybe you've always wanted to start your own business. Or maybe it's to join the gym and go for the very first time. In reality, it doesn't matter what it is. But what does matter is what people just don't tell other people enough, and that is that it's okay to be bad at something. In fact, personally, I believe it's necessary to be bad initially. I feel like we look at people who are amazing or just really, really good at something, and we just kind of think, well, why aren't we like that? We just kind of tend to compare to the elite or just the best or just people who are just generally really good at something. And sometimes we think, wow, they are just so talented. But where they are now is like the tiny part of their entire journey and the entire story they can tell you. Because the thing that we don't see is the most important part, which is the work in the background, the things that no one sees, the thing that they never get applauded for. You know, the years and long hours of just training, trying, perfecting, and the incredible amount of times they fail, lose money, lose time, waste resources, injure themselves. We don't see that part. We only see them on the stage, theoretically, depending on what they do, obviously. Because every single person that is good at something now was bad at it in the beginning. And they only got better because they were brave enough to try it for the first time. You know, a lot of people, myself included in the past, were terrified of being seen as a beginner, a novice, a noob, someone that just don't know what they're doing. And, you know, that's okay. However, it's good to be bad. Obviously, being bad, you know, may make you think or feel like you're a failure at something, or you might find it quite, you know, embarrassing, mainly because we think that people would judge us for it. But in reality, people probably just respect you for trying rather than judging you more than anything. I think the worst thing happens is when we start to judge ourselves and we internally call ourselves and just go all negative regarding whatever it is that we're doing at the time. We always want to try to avoid that. Because I want you to think about it this way, okay? Being bad isn't failing. Being bad is literally proof, living proof, that you're doing something different. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. And that right there is brilliant, because not everyone can say that they've done that. Because at that point, you're actually pushing your limits. And that isn't failing, that is growing. Reid Hoffman actually said, if you're not embarrassed by your first try, you waited too long to start. And I think that's quite powerful. And it puts in perspective that it is okay to be bad and it is okay to be embarrassed. Because if this is your baseline, well, then it can only go up from there. So you don't have to worry about it. And as well, we can never get caught up in trying to be good and forget about the fact that trying to get better is the actual fun part of it all. Because as you figure things out, as you learn new things, as you discover about yourself, your mind, your capabilities, those moments are wonderful. They're brilliant. Recall the last time you were sat there and you did something, or you were in an event, or you're at work, school, uni, whatever, and you just figured something out or did something because of something you've learned before or did before or practiced before, and it just clicked. How nice and how good does that feel? Just figuring it out and just doing it. It's a wonderful feeling that not many things out there can actually match. But that's only because you allowed yourself to be bad first, and then that gave you the opportunity to become better later on down the line. When you think about it as like a little metaphor, a seed isn't a tree. In fact, it's nowhere near one. It's nothing alike. But that seed, with enough time, water, sunlight, has the potential to become a tree. So just like with anything else, little has the potential to become more. Whether that's your skill set, your mindset, the amount of money that you earn, all of that can become more. Because it's okay to start small. It's okay to be rough around the edges when you begin. You are allowed to just be clueless and have no idea what you're doing, because every single expert was exactly where you are right now, today. I remember when I made my first ever YouTube video, and my God, was it terrible. I just feel like I really didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of sat down and spoke without really thinking about it before. The editing was so bad. The lighting was awful. Quality way worse. I didn't even have a proper working microphone. When I look back, it looks like an absolute disaster in comparison to the things that I make today. And you know what? I know it wasn't good, but that's okay. Because not being good has allowed me to improve, learn, and understand what I need to change in order to get to where I am today. And don't get me wrong, my videos still have a ton of room for improvement. There are certain things I could be doing better. My scripting could potentially be changed. I record things on my phone. I don't have a professional camera. There are things I could make better everywhere. However, that doesn't stop me from the fact that I am improving slowly, over time, in little bits, whether that's personally or through equipment. I'm always aiming to make small little changes. And whatever it is that you decide to do, you can apply the exact same logic. So I encourage you to be bad at something, because that will be the start of your journey in the things that you want to do. Because that thing that you're scared to start, genuinely, in a year or maybe 2, you're gonna look back and you're gonna laugh. Just the way I look at my old videos and I just laugh at them and I cringe at them. Just like I probably will cringe at this one in 1 or 2 years' time as well. Because when you feel that way, that shows growth. That shows, the person that you was when you first started. And that's good. But that will only happen if you start. So whatever it is, a blog, a business, a new university course, applying for a new job, start. Just make a start. And over time, it will only get better. If you resonated with the message, I hope you can share it with other people. Send it to someone. Maybe someone that you know that needs a reminder, because maybe they're doing a good job. They just can't see it. So hopefully this video helps you out, and maybe it can also help somebody else out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.